What's up, my dudes? Yo, MX vs. ATV, you gotta bring the spaceman suit back. I'm talking about a full suit, dog, and we gotta have something in there where you gotta do something legendary to unlock it. I'm talking like, we gotta do something big, like, I don't know, fucking put 10,000 hours into the game or 5,000 hours into the game, you get the spaceman suit. That'd be so sick. Oh my god, dude, I've got all these ideas. Next MX vs. ATV game, got the moon map, moon free ride map, lower gravity. You can put the spaceman suit on, you get even lower gravity. Fucking legendary. Either way, let's get into the video here, okay? Oh, and by the way, if any of you guys want to get in my Discord, all you got to do is hit me up in DMs on Instagram. My Instagram username is just Spencer Turley, no spaces and no capital letters. Okay, you'll find me on Instagram. All you got to do is DM me, and I'll get you in my Discord that way. But Milestone, what are you doing with these new official Monceu Supercross game physics? What is this? This looks so terrible. Oh my god, just go back to the first official Monceu Supercross game physics. Oh, just go back to that. It'd be so much better, Milestone. We've been supporting you this whole time. Don't try to make it like MX vs. ATV. I don't like these new physics. Oh my god, they're actually trying to dig down deep into their physics and change the game and really make the game better and more skill gapped and more fun and have more longevity to the physics and actually have real in-air motocross physics to the game. What? I don't know what that is. Oh, no, Milestone, no, just go back to the first Supercross game, please. All I gotta do is put my mind to this shit, bitch. Cancel out my ex, I put a line through them shits. Stop fucking talking about this game like this. So, you guys know I made that, the new gameplay video on Monceu Supercross 3, the official video game. Got in there and talked about it. And one of the biggest things to it, if some of you guys didn't really notice or didn't realize, was the fact that it literally looks like you mixed an MX vs. ATV game with a Milestone game. Like, they have taken some massive amounts of MX vs. ATV type physics and influence, and I mean, it's just obvious, it's just apparent. Like, if you know those games and you know MX vs. ATV and what that looks like, you will know that that's what that is, right? Like, that's all that could be, is that now that they're with the THQ same parent company as MX vs. ATV, THQ Nordic, right? They've obviously been able to take some influence, and I don't know what all they've been able to take exactly, but what I'm getting at is they've obviously taken some things or been able to share. You know, MX vs. ATV has been able to share more things. God, it's been a long time since I played this game. Holy shit, my steering is like, I don't know if I'm getting you know, drift on my thumbsticks or what the fuck, but something's going on here. I don't know. But either way, been a long time since I played me some MX vs. ATV Supercross. Worst MX vs. ATV ever. But either way, that's kind of what that new you know, official Monceu Supercross game looks like to me. Now that I went back and looked at it more, it kind of looks like this mixture of like those early on day MX vs. ATV physics, like Unleashed type physics mixed with the first Monceu Supercross game, and then somehow kind of mixed with MX vs. ATV Supercross in a way. Like, it, you know, it just kind of has like this mixture of all that. It's like you just kind of integrated some of that really old school MX vs. ATV physics feeling and vibe to the Milestone Supercross games, and that's kind of what it looks like. And I just wanted to come in here and kind of reiterate on this, because I know a lot of people are going to have all these crazy ass opinions and go all over the place with it. So let me just read a couple of the comments that really explain some of this on my early gameplay video that I made. Okay, so this is a big one right here. So this is coming from a dude named Jacob Watson. He says, I personally think the physics look like crap, talking about, you know, this new Supercross 3 video game. He says, I personally think the physics look like crap. I may be the only one, but I enjoyed Supercross 2, and now this third one looks like they're going backwards. It may be different, but I don't like different if it's shit. Okay. I don't really think you watched all my video, or this question would have already been answered. This sort of thing would have already been answered, but let me just elaborate on this, because it's a big point that I was trying to make in that first video. So, there's a lot of people, just like Jacob Watson, that are going to see that early gameplay of Monster Energy Supercross 3, and they're going to see this sort of MX versus ATV influence being injected into it, okay? And it looks pretty janky. It looks pretty weird. It looks pretty unpolished. It looks pretty McDonald's-y type, like, you know, mobile game looking physics. The tracks are a little bit wider. The movement looks kind of weird and janky. The animations look a little bit more weird and janky. But you have to understand, you have to keep in your mind, this is the first stage and step of them really, you know, changing the physics, okay, and really digging deeper into the physics and making it more like MX versus ATV physics, okay? This is not the final product when it comes to, like, whenever you... Okay, let me explain it like this. Some of you don't really understand, apparently, because I knew you guys were going to get... Some of you were going to get that opinion. That's why I said those certain things in my video. I knew some of you guys were going to look at that and say, oh, what the hell are these physics? Just go back to the first Supercross game's physics. Or, oh, dude, just go back to the original Milestone physics. That was way better. What are you doing? You're going backwards. What are you doing, Milestone? Listen, that's what's going to happen when they have to dig those physics down and try to make something new and better with it, okay? If they don't, if they just sit there with those same old Milestone physics and just, you know, scrape on the top layer of the physics and just change the top layer and never dig deep into the physics system and never really change anything, I'm telling you that's going to be 10,000 times worse than what they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? This is going to look worse at first, but it's not once we get later on down the line, once we get another game down deep into these sort of physics. It's always going to look bad whenever you go in there and you dig deeper into the physics system and you're really trying to do something different. It's going to seem worse at first, okay? You've got to understand that. But that doesn't mean, oh shit, no, Milestone, just go back to your original physics. No, Milestone, just go back to what you were doing at the beginning. If they go back to that, it's never going to change. You're just going to have those same old standard, simplistic ass Milestone physics that have no skill gap whatsoever, and you feel like you're just playing this standard ass mobile game where you're over jumping, under jumping, and never falling off, and there's no real leaning skill gap to it. There's no real, like, jump rhythm skill gap. There's no having to time jump out and all this shit that the Milestone, you know, jumping Supercross games are the problems that they've always had with that. Like, you've got to understand, and this is what I was saying in that early gameplay video, it's going to look like shit at first, okay? That's what happens when you go in there and you dig down and try to revamp a physics system from the ground up. But that's what they have to do with these Milestone physics if you ever want to really see an improvement, okay? You've got to understand that. So you're going to have to kind of bear with this first official Monster Energy Supercross game if you ever want to see a real change and a real improvement with the Milestone physics. Some of you idiots out there saying, just go back to the first Supercross game's physics. Dude, the first Supercross game's physics were so much better, dude. Just go back to the first Supercross game. It's the best game. No, I don't just want another first official Monster Energy Supercross game and pay another $60 for that shit. We already had that game. I don't want that again. Nobody wants that again. Really? If you want that, go play the original fucking Monster Energy Supercross game. Stop trying to tell Milestone to go back to what they've already done before. That's already been done, and it's already happened. That is the last thing Milestone should do right now, is try to go back to the first Supercross game's physics. Jesus Christ. Some of you guys don't even understand the problems that game had. You don't even remotely get it. And one of the big things about it was so arcadey and so easy to be good at the game quickly that I think it tricked a lot of you guys. I honestly do. I think it tricked a lot of you guys into thinking that it was better than what it was, because you could hop in there and on day one feel like you're a fucking pro racer and a pro rider and hit every line on the track and hit the whoops because there's no skill to the whoops, and hit the quad lines your first lap, your first day playing the game, because it was so arcadey and so easy. And I genuinely think that's why a lot of you guys just, absolutely love this first Supercross game. Oh my God, they just need to go back to the first Supercross game. I genuinely think that's why you think that, because of how easy it was. It's just simple understanding how the brain works. Anything that you feel like you're doing good at, you're going to have more fun with it, and you're going to think it's better, okay? That's why a lot of people have a hard time getting into MX Simulator. And some of the really deep skill gap games, okay? MX Simulator is one of those games, when you first get into it, you're going to feel like a literal fucking beginner in literal real-life motocross, okay? You're going to feel like you're not shit. You can't even hardly ride the bike. You can't even hold the bike up in one corner. You're going to wreck on everything. You can't go through whoops for shit. But the difference is when you put the time in, you learn the game, you invest into the game, and you become where you actually do learn the game and get better at the game and become really good at the game. Then you can start really separating yourself from other people. Oh my God, the joy and the satisfaction and the fun you're going to have once you get to that point on like a MX Simulator or a Reflex is 10,000 times better than that little bit of joy and fun that you're having with the first official Monster Energy Supercross game when you feel all really good at it when you first get into it. I'm telling you, that all the good things in the world come with a weight. You know what I mean? It comes with time. All this quick, feel good, be good instantly, no skill gap, no longevity, no real replayability. Those games suck ass, dude. Like, and some of you guys just aren't understanding that. Some of you that think the first official Monster Energy Supercross game was just so great, oh my God, they just need to go back to that. So you're telling me you want to go back to a Supercross game that you can literally underjump any jump in the game. You can case a quad as hard as you could possibly imagine, or overjump any jump in the game by 100 foot and not even remotely pop off the bike ever. And you want to have whoops that are literal. When I say no skill gap, I mean no skill, none, zero, zip, nada, no skill to the whoops in the first Supercross game whatsoever. Some of the most basic rhythm section, basic Supercross tracks you could possibly have in a Supercross game, combined with some of the most basic, simplistic, easy, arcadey physics to a Supercross game that you could possibly have. Some of the most weird, janky, like silly hit a button, play an animation, no variation whip system to a Supercross game that you could possibly have. That's really what the first Supercross game was. That's what it was. Some of you guys are in this some other weird, warped out realm and dimension. I don't even understand where you're coming from when you say that. Just go back to the first Supercross game. No, motherfucker, you've got to... You're not seeing it long term. You're looking at things very, very short term wise. You've got to look at this Monster Energy Supercross 3 game long term, dog. Long term. I promise you, if you have more of a MX versus ATV sort of skill gap and error physics system to it, once they get it where it's supposed to be, which it's not at right now, you can obviously tell by some of that early gameplay, it looks janky as shit. It looks, pretty bad in a lot of categories, and I'm not disagreeing with you there, okay? I understand where you guys are coming from when you're saying that, but what I'm getting at is that's the way it is whenever you dig deep and you totally reinvent a physics system. It's going to look weird as shit at first. It's going to look shitty at first. It's going to look janky at first, and that's what I'm saying. Over time, that's where that TLC and that work and input and all that shit being put in, by the time we get to Supercross 4 or Supercross 5, the official video game, hopefully we'll have this like reflex combined with, official Monster Energy Supercross game type system, and it'll be 10,000 times the game of what the first Supercross game was. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've got to be ready for innovation and change when it comes to these milestone games, because they are so repetitive. So you don't just want to sit there with those same old first official Monster Energy Supercross game physics for the next 10 years. I promise you don't want to do that. You think you do, but you don't. Literally. That's the way that is. You think you do, but you don't. If you want to play a game that's that fucking arcadey and that simplistic and that low of a skill gap, go download a literal mobile motocross game on your mom's iPhone right now and play that if that's what you want. Holy shit, there's just a point there where, and I understand, they're making an arcade game for everybody to play. I get it, okay? That skill has got to be where you can pick up and play it. It's not so hard to get into. I understand that, okay? But even Reflex is not that hard to get into, okay? It's not just... It's not just all about like, oh my God, you've got to make it way more skill gapped and way more difficult. That's not what I'm even saying, really. What I'm saying is the feeling of the physics is just not even there at all in those milestone games as far as in air. They're quite a bit better ground physics-wise, but in air, it's just not even close to the way it needs to be. And that's what I'm saying about this Supercross 3 having more of the MX vs. ATV physics feel to it. You're going to thank me later, dude. Thank me later. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for bluffing. Like, stop, guys. Stop. Some of you that are going down that road and thinking that, and I could already see it because I said it in the video. And then, you know, we got people coming in here and commenting things like, you know, it may be different, but I don't like different if it's shit. Well, the first official Monster Energy Supercross game is shit. I hate to break it to you, but those physics are shit. They're shit. They're basic. They're boring. They're a mobile game. They're just so arcadey and simple. Okay, and I understand it's an arcade motocross game, but there's a huge difference in making something that is like a literal 3-year-old playing the game can be just as fast as a 20-year-old because of how simple it is. That's the difference that I'm talking about. Like that first Supercross game's physics and feeling to it was so simple, so arcadey. They had to do something, man. Nobody wants that shit for the next, you know, the next 5 official Monster Energy Supercross games. Nobody wants that. Go play the first Supercross game if you want that, dude. Like, damn. They've got to make this innovation and this change. They have to. This is such a critical thing for them to do. And Milestone, this is where you've got to be real careful, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of these old school Milestone faithful fanboys that are going to be like, Milestone, what are you doing with these new official Monster Energy Supercross game physics? What is this? This looks so terrible. Oh my God, just go back to the first official Monster Energy Supercross game physics. Oh, just go back to that. It'd be so much better, Milestone. We've been supporting you this whole time. Don't try to make it like MX versus ATV. I don't like these new physics. Oh my God. They're actually trying to dig down deep into their physics and change the game and really make the game better and more skill gapped and more fun and have more longevity to the physics and actually have real in-air motocross physics to the game. What? I don't know what that is. Oh, no, Milestone, no, just go back to the first Supercross game, please. All I gotta do is put my mind to this shit, bitch. Cancel out my ex, I put a line through them shits. Stop fucking talking about this game like this. I promise you ain't got it, dog. You ain't even got it like that. Let it play out, okay? Let the shit play out before you start saying, go back, you know, oh my God, these new physics are so terrible. Oh shit, go back to the way it was the first Supercross game. Go back. Just let it play out, dog, for at least 2 games. You know, if we get to the official Monster Energy Supercross game 5 and it still looks like some janky-ass McDonald's shit, then yeah, you can start saying that. But don't start saying that right now. They're trying to do something with the physics, okay? They're really trying to dig down, make something different, make it better. Let it play out, dog. Just let it play out, and we'll see, okay? Don't start getting those quick opinions on it because that's the way it is anytime you try to really dig deep into a motocross physics of a game, okay? It's going to seem shittier at first because they don't have it figured out yet. They haven't, like, melded it properly with the official Monster Energy Supercross game physics yet. You know, they haven't really got it to work in the game like it should be yet. So that's what it comes down to. And the thing a lot of people aren't understanding is when you start injecting and, you know, innovating and applying more of the MX versus ATV physics system to it, now you can start having a better whip system. Now you can start having a more skill gap jumping system and a more skill gapped seat bouncing, leaning forward and backward system, which is completely non-existent in these Milestone official Monster Energy Supercross games. You're not going to come around a corner and have to, you know, huck. There's like no hucking to the official Monster Energy Supercross games. There's none. There's no come around a corner and huck the triple in, and then you got to not huck the next jump or you'll jump too far, and like there's none of that sort of leaning forward and backwards skill There's none of that, like, really pump scrub and staying lower and then doing a big-ass whip and all this. See, this is what integrating these MX versus ATV air physics is going to do for it. It's going to allow it to really progress and have those variable whips and those multiple types of whips and not just feel like you're hitting a button and playing an animation, and really getting more of that in the game. And I'm not saying make it insane like MX versus ATV all-out whips or anything like that, but it's going to make it a lot better in a lot of different ways is what I'm saying. And a lot of you guys aren't even understanding that side of it right now. So you just need to let her play out, dog. Wait and see. I'm telling you, it will turn out to be way better them going down this road, and it's going to impress you a lot more once we get further on down the road here, dude. You just got to be a little bit patient with it. And I promise you will thank me later, bro. I promise you. Don't get in there and scare Milestone to do something different. Don't get in there and try to make it seem like Milestone can never try to dig deep into their physics. You've got to let them do what they want to do, man. You got to let them do what needs to be done, okay? So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.